So after complaining about writing in English in the previous vlog, in this vlog I'm actually going to write papers. I'm working on different few projects, but in this week I have to write papers for 2 of them. I don't have to like finish the entire paper, but I'm gonna write few chapters. For one of them I haven't wrote anything yet, so I have to write the introduction and the theory section and like some background. For the other one I've actually written the theory and the background section, but I have to write the results section. The first one, I'm solo authoring on that one. I wrote that almost like a year ago, submitted to the department for like degree requirements, but I have to like make it better right now. I'm like revising it basically so that I can publish it, submit it to a journal and hopefully get published. The other one, it's like a recent project that I was working on over the summer with my advisor, and on that one I have a co-author. I'm also especially excited about the solo authored one. I've published papers before, but they were all with like other scholars. So I have papers which are co-authored, but I haven't ever published anything that is solo authored. So I'm like super excited publishing something by myself, where the idea is for me, the theory, I've like kind of developed it by myself. I did the research by myself. I almost did everything by myself, obviously with some like help and advising from my advisors. But I'm like really excited about this because this is like the first time that I'm trying to publish something that is like completely for me. So that is really exciting. And this is gonna be the first paper that I ever published by myself. And this is the first ever sociology paper that I published by myself. So it's like a really important thing in my career, I think. So I hope that it turns out really good, and I'm like really excited to publish it. So that I can get like feedback from other scholars. Hopefully they will love it and they will think that it's like an amazing paper, but we will see. For my solo paper, I have an empty Word document in here, which I'm gonna write the paper in. I have Zotero on this screen, which is filled with all of the papers that I read in the last year and all of like the news articles that is related to the paper that I'm gonna write. I started using Zotero recently. I resisted using it for almost a year, but it is amazing. It is way better than almost everything else. So I love it. This is filled with the things that I want to cite and I'm like in conversation with. In here I have the old version of the manuscript, which I wrote a year ago. I'm gonna write, just like look at it, sometimes take some ideas and copy paste few parts. And in here I have a note that is filled with every idea that I had over the last year. I think I finished writing the first version of the manuscript I want to say 7-8 months ago, but I knew that I'm going to rewrite it. So from that point, every time that I had an idea, something that I wanted to add to the manuscript, something that I wanted to change, every time that something came to my mind, I just like added it on my phone notes, and I have everything in here right now. So I'm going to combine the citations, the notes that I have, the old version, and like all of the ideas that I had, and just write a new one in here. So I wrote the introduction and the theoretical background section. There's like 3 different topics that I'm like in conversation with. I wrote half of one of them, which is the social movements literature. But right now I'm gonna meet with my friend and then go and watch Barbie. I don't have a Ken or Barbie fit because I was too lazy to do it. Okay, so good morning. It's mostly afternoon right now, but morning for me. So good morning. Thoughts on Barbie at first. Barbie was actually really good. I really liked it. I think it was like a really detailed criticism of patriarchy, but at the same time they managed to make it entertaining. And that's really hard to like have a harsh critic on an important issue, but also somehow make it entertaining and funny and exciting at the same time. So I think overall it was fun, it was full of meanings, and I think everyone should watch it. So go and watch Barbie and try to understand what it is all about. But this vlog is not about Barbie, this is about writing papers. Last week, I had a version of these figures that I showed to my advisor in our meeting, and he liked them, but he had some comments. There was this issue with the scaling of the figures, and I'm correcting that right now in Python. I'm exporting them, and then I have to go to Illustrator and use it to make the final version of the figures. Using Illustrator for scientific purposes is so useful. It's like extremely good. I started using it 2 years ago. I was publishing something with Nature, and then I realized that there's no way to get into Nature without using Illustrator, because your figures have to look like really professional, and Illustrator gives that like final touch of professionality to the figures. So I started using it, and after that I'm just like using it. It is really efficient. It may be a bit hard to like learn it at first, but once you learn it, it just makes your workflow way easier. So like right now I'm updating a few of the subplots in the final figures, and I just like export the files. Illustrator detects it itself, update the files in the Illustrator file, and then I can just like easily change it. It's so useful. You have to really start using Illustrator. If you're not, this is your sign that you should do it. So this is my Python code. Obviously I cannot show all of it and I cannot show the results, but I know that this looks bad. I know that this looks ugly. I mostly learned coding by myself. Like I learned the basics in class, but then I learned everything by myself. So I know that this is an ugly code. If you're a computer science student, give me suggestions on the comments on how to make this look prettier. Like, I don't know, is there like any tutorial or like guidebook on how to write clean codes? This is not a clean code. This is ugly and I'm aware of it, but it works, so it's fine. So I made 11 figures, everything is perfect with them right now, and I wanted to add them to the manuscript and like explain them through the text, but I remembered that my advisor actually asked me to make a new figure and calculate like a new quantity, because there's this dimension of the results that we're like kind of ignoring, but it would be good to like analyze them and also talk about them in the paper. So I have to do some more coding, make those new figures, and then I will be done with getting the results, and I just like have to write the paper, but I will probably end up doing that tomorrow because I will finish this new figures that he wants by the end of today. So I'm done with almost everything. It's 7 p.m. I think right now, and I'm heading to the dance practice. I haven't been to the practice for a week, so I'm really excited and I want to try some new moves today. New York at its finest, really and truly. Oh. So, the bad news is that they're closed. Like, I knew that they had an issue with the contractor and they are going to change the space, but I thought that tomorrow is the last day and today the studio is open, but the studio is closed. So I can't dance there right now. I can either go to a park and practice there a bit or walk home instead. I don't know. Let me figure this out. So this is really annoying right now, because I was super happy that finally after years I have a consistent place where I can practice, but now that this happened, and probably for like 1 month or 2 at least, I'm not gonna have access to like any dance studios, so I have to figure out a way to practice. I was getting back into like being able to do my like tricks and moves and everything, so now I will not back off. I will walk to the park, which is like a 20 minutes walk, and then I will practice there a bit, because I will probably have to do this for 1-2 months, and this is it. So let's go to the park.